Alright guys, welcome back to the course. Now before we are going to, in fact, this tutorial we're going to be connecting to the database and also creating a database config file. But before we do that, there are some things we need to take care of which we didn't do in the previous tutorial. Now one of which is, remember, we're going to be using Bootstrap for this particular course. So I actually did not include the Bootstrap files previously while we are setting up our folder structure. So first of all, what I'm going to do right now is to head on to Bootstrap website and download the Bootstrap file we are going to be working with. So to do that, I will open my browser and I'm going to go to get bootstrap bootstrap.com. okay, that's the website, getbootstrap.com. okay, so I'm going to go to getbootstrap.com, and what I'm going to do here is I'm going to click on download. Okay, mind you, this Bootstrap 4.4 current version, so I'm going to click on download, then I will click on download again. Okay, and of course the file is downloading. So I think is completed. So I'm going to click this and I will click show in folder, and this is it here. So I'm going to right click and I'm going to cut this file, then I'll go back to my C drive, back to XAMPP folder, htdocs, and of course our working folder, which is result checking. So what I'm going to do is, first of all, I'm going to paste this here, then I'm going to right click and extract here. Okay, so delete this file, I don't need it anymore. Get rid of this file, yes, delete. Then open this one. Now as you can see, we have CSS and JS folder here. So for the CSS, all I need here is just a bootstrap.min.css file. So I'm going to right click on this and I click on cut, then go back to my CSS folder, paste it here. Remember, we also have the CSS folder in the admin section, so come back here, CSS, and I think we need to copy that again from here. So copy this and admin CSS folder and paste. So we need to do the same thing for the JavaScript file in the Bootstrap folder. So what I'm going to do here, I'm just going to copy this folder first of all, then I will paste it here. Okay, then I'll open it and get rid of some of the things I don't need. I don't need this. I also do not need this. I don't need this as well. I don't need this. And what else? I just need the minified version of the Bootstrap JS. Get rid of this as well, and get rid of this. So I'm going to come back, copy this, and also paste it inside the admin folder. Okay, so I can now delete the Bootstrap folder. Okay, now the last file I need to get for our working folder is jQuery. You know, Bootstrap depends on jQuery to work. Bootstrap cannot function without the jQuery library. So I'm going to go to jQuery.com, alright, jQuery.com, then I'm going to click on download. I'm going to click on download, and of course download the compressed production jQuery 3.4.1. so this is one I want. So I'm going to click on this, and this is going to load a page that contains all the jQuery code. Now what I'm going to do here is this. I'm going to open the IDE I'm going to be using for this course. So I will be using PHP Storm for this course, and feel free to use any text editor you want, Sublime Text, Visual Studio Code, whatsoever that is you like, whatever is best for you to use as an editor or an IDE. You can go ahead and use it, but I'm going to be using PHP Storm for this course, and that's because of the numerous features that comes with PHP Storm. Now already I've opened the working folder in PHP Storm, and to do that is very simple. You just go to File menu. You go to the File menu, you click on Open, then you select the folder. From here, as you can see, I navigated to the XAMPP folder and htdocs. Okay, then our working folder is result checking. I clicked on it and I clicked on OK, so that will load it on this particular section here. Okay, so now what I want to do here, I want to open the JS folder. Okay, now in fact I'm going to right click on the JS folder to make a new file and call it jQuery.js. So I'm going to right click on JS and I'm going to come to new. I'll come to JavaScript file, so I give it a name of jQuery. Okay, I'll click OK. Once I click OK, the file will be created for us. The jQuery file will be created and the JavaScript file is created. That is good. Now the next thing I want to do here is to head on back to our browser, and I'm going to Control A here to select everything I have here, and I C to copy, then head back to our text editor or IDE, and to V to paste all the contents there. Okay, so I'll give it some time to paste. Good. Now since this is pasted, we have jQuery to work with now. So I'm going to close this and head back to our working folder, and of course it's jQuery sitting here. So I'm going to copy the jQuery file back, admin folder, JS, and paste as well. So our folder structure and all the necessary files we need to work with are now complete. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do here is head on back to our browser. Okay, now I'm going to go to the database because I want to add some content or some information to the database that will work with. So localhost phpMyAdmin again. Alright, localhost phpMyAdmin. Wait for it to load. Okay, so this is the database we created, result checking. I'm going to click on it, and I'll open the student, no, not the student, I will open the classes table. Okay, I want to add some text to it. Classes. So I want to go to insert. Now under the classes ID, remember this is auto increment, so it's going to be auto incrementing. We don't have to add anything here. So I'll come to classes. And okay, so on classes I'm going to add so the first class I want to add here is year 7, and the class numeric, which is this, will be 7. Now move on to add another one, which is year 8. Class numeric is 8, and okay, so let's click on save first of all here. Okay, so if I go back here to browse, you see we've added 2. Okay, 2 classes added, year 7, year 8. So I'm going to go back to insert and add the remaining classes. So here will be year 9, and class numeric is 9, and here will be year 10, class numeric is 10. So insert, we come here, insert as a new row, and then insert another row. So let's do this very quickly. Good. So 2 rows inserted, and we want to complete it now. So we have year 11, and of course year 12, and that should be it. Okay, so back to browse. We have all the classes inserted now. We have year 7, year 8, year 9, year 10, 11, and 12. Okay, so the next thing we want to do is to head on to the student section. We're going to head on to the student table. Okay, now I want to upload some database information to use on this particular student section. And also I'm going to leave the okay, no, I'm not going to leave that for you, so you can just grab some student information to work with. But later in the tutorial I'm going to create a registration form that new students can use to register into the system. So I'm going to go to export. I'll go to export, then I will come to import, not export, import, because I'm importing if values into the database table. So I'm going to come to choose file. I'm going to come to choose file. Then I'll head on to where I have the files on my system. Okay, I'm going to scroll down a bit, and this is it, dbexport.sql. So I'm going to click on that. Then I'm going to click on go. I like to load and upload this information to the database. What is happening? What's going on? Oh, okay, student already exists. Okay, so for some reason that is okay. That means, but let's quickly get rid of this particular students table first of all, since it already exists. So I'm going to delete this table. I'm going to drop it for now, since the table I'm importing already contains the name of students. So let's quickly delete this. But don't worry, it's the same table values I'll be importing. So back to import and select again, and scroll down to DB. Good, select this, then scroll down to go. So let's see what happens now. Hopefully this should work. Okay, that's good, everything done successfully. So let's go back to what we have here, structure. Okay, student, good, click on it, and we have the ID, the name, the sex, the classes ID, and session ID. We don't need, we're going to be getting rid of some of the values here that we don't need. So I'm going to go back to structure, back to the structure. So I don't think we need the session ID. We don't need it. We don't need the session ID, and we don't need the user type. So I'm going to get rid of these two columns. We don't need them. So structure, what's going on? Structure. Okay, so I'm going to click on session ID. I'll also click on user type ID, and of course I should drop those two columns. Okay, good. So back to browse, and of course we are good to go. So we have the student ID, we have the name, we have the sex, we have the classes ID, the registration number, username, exam pin, and the card serial number. And I'm going to get rid of, okay, there's no need of that. Let's get rid of it because I'm not going to be using this any longer. So get rid of this. Select, remove. Okay, select, remove. Okay, all right, so I had to just pause the video there to get rid of every of this card serial number that already existing for these names. Now I think we're done with the database and every other thing that has to do with the folder structure. So very quickly I'm going to head back to my IDE PHP store. Then we're going to try to connect to database, and let's see how that goes. Now I'm going to quickly click on this. So I'm going to right click and create a new file, which is a PHP file. Of course I'm going to give it config. Okay, config. All right, so alright, so we're going to connect to the database. The first thing we're going to create is a variable, and I'm going to call it localhosts or db hosts. call it db underscore hosts, and I'll give that localhost. We're using procedural here, procedural connection. Then the next is the database user. So db user is always root, so we'll give it the name root. And the next parameter is db password. We'll call it db pass, and that will be equals to this. So I'm using a password. So in your own case, you might not be using a password, but I'm using a password. And the last is the database name. So db name, and remember we gave you the name of results checking. All right. So that's it. Now, don't mind this stuff here. It's just PHP Storm trying to tell me that there's a typographical error here. Now, if to remove this, you can just right click. Alright, so like I said, what we're going to do here is right click here, then come to spelling and come to save, and that should do the magic. So I'm going to create another variable here called con, which is short for connection. So to connect procedural, my SQLi underscore connect, that's what we're going to write, and PHP Storm has a way of completing this for you. So the first thing we're going to enter here is db hosts. Okay, that database hosts. Then the next will be db user. Okay, followed by db password, and lastly db name. Okay, so we're going to check if this connection was successful. So we're going to write an if statement here that says if. Okay, come back here. Now if not, this is negative, which means if the connection was not successful, we want to throw an exception error. We're going to say die. We want to kill the page, so the die function kills the page and prevent every other thing from loading on the page. So we're going to say die. We're going to write error connecting to database, and we're going to append my SQLi underscore error. Okay, the function that will tell us the type of error. What is this? The type of error that we are experiencing. All right. Okay. All right. Okay. We have here expression result contra link. Okay. Sorry, I'm doing here. Okay. Alright, so I don't think this is an error. This is an error. So if it is, you're going to find that, because I believe what you have to supply here as an argument should be the database connection, which is this. So I'm going to go here and just write x. If the connection was successful, you're going to echo to the screen. I'm going to echo to the screen connection successful. Okay. Alright, so let's just run this. Now I'm going to go back to my browser, and of course I will open a new tab and go to localhost. Remember the URL or the name of the folder is result checking. So I'm going to look for the config file there, config.php, and let's try that. Okay, so we have unknown database result checkings. Result checking rather. So let's do this. Open. So as you can see, we have connection successful. Okay, so even if we remove this, we're still gonna connect successfully, even if that is not there. So refresh, we still have connection successful. And if you decide to maybe change the password, maybe remove the S there, you should get an error. Okay, access denied for user localhost blah blah using password. Yes. Okay, so let's really put this, and of course we should be good to go. So we have successfully established a reliable connection to our database. Okay, So I don't want this video to be too long. In the next video, we're going to continue with the course, and of course we'll be looking at how we can set up the login form for the student section. So thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video.